Should you submit your I-130 online or on paper?
That's exactly what we'll be covering in today's video, and we're especially talking about a scenario where you're completing Form I-130 as a part of your entire marriage adjustment of status application.
Meaning, when you're also submitting Forms I-485, work and travel permits, affidavit of support, and etc.
And make sure to watch to the end, where we will be sharing our preference and the main 2 reasons why, which nobody is talking about. If you're new to our channel, I'm Margarita.
I'm Dixon.
And we're 2 immigration attorneys.
On this channel, we share new videos weekly with practical tips and tricks on how to handle your marriage adjustment of status on your own.
Now, complete marriage adjustment of status application often ranges into several hundreds of pages.
This means that convenience and anything that can save you time and energy is a huge plus.
So, which is more convenient when filing your I-130, to do it on paper or online?
When filing online, there are definitely some advantages to be aware of.
First, it's convenient to submit all of your information online because this is the format we're all used to doing in this modern age.
That means there's no need to print anything out, find a pen, and then write everything out, paying special attention to your handwriting to make sure that everything is clear and easy to read.
With the online format, you only need to type and everything is simply and easily inputted using just your device.
Second, filing your I-130 online is convenient because you will immediately receive a receipt notice.
We know from our own experience going through this journey and from guiding other immigrant couples how stressful all of the waiting is.
And quickly receiving receipt notices is one way us immigrant couples feel more relaxed and at ease with this process and journey.
And then, of course, the biggest thing is evidence. Instead of printing all of your relationship evidence on paper, you can simply submit it online.
So does that mean filing online is more convenient? Well, not necessarily.
And this is because there are 2 convenient advantages when filing on paper.
First, the vast majority of your initial green card application, several hundred pages as we mentioned earlier, will need to be prepared on paper.
While it may be convenient to file Form I-130 online, it's inconvenient given you will be introducing 2 separate filing processes into the preparation of your complete application.
And since you'll already be completing everything else on paper and making copies for yourself, you'll need to find a way to save a copy of your online Form I-130 too.
No one talks about this, and especially in relation to immigration, but consistency leads to efficiency, which leads to scalability and the minimization of errors.
We've linked an article that highlights this below, but this is exactly what you're looking for when self-filing your marriage immigration.
Keeping everything the same allows you to be more efficient with your time, move more quickly through all of the processes, and do so with the minimum amount of errors.
Okay, so that all makes sense. But then what about the instant receipt notices when filing online?
No, you will not get an instant receipt notice when you file on paper, but then you also will not get instant receipt notices for any other forms that you're submitting.
And that's exactly why the USCIS has Form G1145, which we encourage the members of our marriage immigration method to submit with their case.
This form allows you to receive electronic notification from the USCIS for your entire process and at the same time.
The form says to clip it to the first page of your application package, that you'll receive an electronic notification for each form you're filing, and that you'll receive an e-notification within 24 hours after they accept your application.
We've linked the form below, but as you can see, the advantages of online filing are made redundant by other strategies you can implement with your case.
So we think convenience still leans in favor of paper filing.
The next consideration refers to errors.
As we keep mentioning, complete applications can get big fast.
Just see some of the paper applications we've guided the members of our method to assemble.
So, when it comes to paper, as your application grows, the risk of error does in fact also increase.
Even though you would be evaluating each form individually, the sheer magnitude of your entire application, stress over completing everything perfectly, and fears over possible future complications make paper filing overwhelming and error-prone.
This is why our method guides members line by line so that they can place their full attention on each question to get everything right on the first try.
And it also allows them to go back and review things in the same way before filing.
So then, that means that online filing of Form I-130 is less error-prone, right?
The online system is helpful because it guides you through the form, prompting you to fill out everything one by one.
It then takes your answers and inputs them into the correct locations on the form itself.
Or does it?
Well, you probably have heard by now, but if not, the tech used by the USCIS is often quite unreliable.
We have noticed that there are glitches that occur in their online filing program that causes some information to be placed incorrectly into the form.
This is especially problematic because it can cause significant delays in your case down the road.
So this means that you need to review your online form I-130 either way.
Now that might not seem like an issue, but there's another problem we've become aware of when it comes to filing Form I-130 online.
And that is that the immigration officers have reported system glitches in relaying your information.
In other words, even if the form looks good after you've reviewed it, there have been a number of instances where the system glitched during receipt, causing errors or even loss of information.
So, while the technology is meant to help you, it also means you have less control over your application and case because you are dependent on their system and it operating correctly.
But what do you guys think of USCIS tech? Let us know with a comment if you trust their system.
So, when it comes to minimizing errors, we believe this leans in favor of paper filing.
Now here's a very important point when considering filing your I-130 online.
You are going to want to maintain proof.
But what exactly do we mean by this?
It's important that you maintain a copy of your entire application that you submitted to the USCIS.
The point of having copies is that you're maintaining proof of everything that you've provided to the USCIS.
This is especially important considering how we previously discussed system errors at the USCIS that are actually very, very constant.
In case you receive requests for evidence, you can quickly refer to your copy and identify whether you did in fact comply with the USCIS requirements or possibly miss something.
Either way, you've got a completed application that can allow you to quickly and efficiently provide the requested evidence.
Additionally, copies allow you to know what you've submitted and make you generally more prepared for the remainder of your immigration journey.
When filing on paper, this is easy because you will already be making copies of the remainder of your on-paper application, so you will be able to easily also make a copy of your I-130.
When filing online, however, you'll need to save the form and all of the supporting evidence you're attaching with that form.
So ultimately, it does make sense to keep everything consistent, as we noted earlier.
Meaning, for retaining proof, it's likely still a better idea to file on paper.
Now, this is the final point, and in our opinion, the most important consideration when determining whether to file online or on paper.
Now, the USCIS is a massive agency processing untold amount of paperwork every single day.
And to operate efficiently, or at least maintain some level of efficiency, you need to consider that such an operation needs to operate using consistent processes.
When you think about that, it quickly becomes apparent that the USCIS has been processing marriage adjustment of status cases on paper for years.
Their officers are likely more trained on processing paper filings, and additionally, the vast majority of your application materials and forms are still only accepted in paper format.
So while the introduction of online filing is an amazing and welcome change, it's important to know that you're minimizing all of the potential risks that you have within your control.
You want to prepare your application considering how it will be most efficiently processed and with the least risk for errors, so you can get through this process quickly and with as little headache as possible.
That's why we think that filing your Form I-130 on paper and optimizing the structure of your entire application is still the way to go for a better immigration experience.
Maybe, when more forms are available for online filing and the USCIS had more practice and time to refine their tech, there will be the time to begin filing these forms online.
But for the time being, we believe that crafting your application, taking into consideration consistency, weighs in favor of paper filing.
But let us know with a comment if you feel differently.
Thank you for watching.
Subscribe, click the bell, drop any comments you have, and we will see you next week.